It's December 2018 and a young and very promising mangaka called Tatsuki Fujimoto gives life to what would become one of the most appreciated and well-known manga/anime series of the last years, selling more than 20 million copies, which definitely made our dear Fujimoto-sensei some nice cash. Well, is that the end of the story? Obviously not, because on December 14th, 2020, an anime adaptation has been announced, letting all of us know that it will be handled by none less than Studio Mappa themselves. The hype was obviously higher than Fujimoto himself when he created panels like these. We had all the best premises, an already absolute banger of a story, amazing character development, and what is probably the best studio out there to handle the work, and the absolute genius that is Kenshi Yonezu working on the opening song. Well, nothing could possibly go wrong. Or could it? Well, before we start the video, I wanted to thank you for watching it. Also, if you end up enjoying it, I'd be very glad if you decided to leave a like and subscribe to the channel, because I'll be doing many more videos like this in the future. I'm done talking, let's begin. The extremely anticipated date, October 12, 2022. Chainsaw Man the anime finally starts realization. People screaming, panicking, having heart attacks, starting to bark, while indulging in very not family-friendly acts the very same second that this woman appears on screen. The premiere was absolutely fucking wild, and to be honest, I was extremely happy as well. Having absolutely loved the manga, which I actually made a video about, so be sure to check it out, I actually liked the manga so much that in my head, the anime would only have two possible outcomes. It would either be the greatest piece of animation we had in a very long time, both stylistically and story-wise, or it could be a decent product that would definitely not be able to top the original work. And unfortunately, I think that the second outcome is the one that actually happened. Now, Studio Mappa is obviously known for being possibly the best animation studio in Japan, having brought to life series like Attack on Titan, Jujutsu Kaisen, or even the lesser-known Dorohedoro. That was enough for me to not have any particular concern regarding the technical aspect of the anime. I started watching it, but progressively, minute after minute, I would feel more and more like something wasn't right. The thing is, I couldn't really figure out what it actually was. The characters look incredible, the setting is very detailed, the lighting is fantastic, the darkness is... And at this point I finally came to understand what was bothering my eyes so much. It's too bright. Not only that, but although being very detailed, well, it seems way too detailed at times. Almost sort of artificial. I especially noticed it with this very symbolic scene of Makima hugging Denji after finding him covered in blood in a sea of dead devil's bodies. When I read this part in the manga, I was amazed by how simple and raw, yet deep and meaningful, the single panel manages to be. I'm not gonna be here deeply analyzing whatever meaning is there behind this panel, but in the manga, Tatsuki Fujimoto does not need color. He doesn't need an abundance of detail. Well, hell, there's no even need for a background. It's just white. The attention of the reader is captivated by the two characters that embrace each other. That's the main focal point of the composition, no need for anything else. But in the anime adaptation, adding such an incredibly detailed background with colors makes the symbolism of the scene utterly unnoticeable and almost meaningless. In my opinion, there's also something about the very minimalistic and at times almost sketchy art of Tatsuki Fujimoto. It gives off this very raw and not pretty in a good way type of feeling. While the anime, with its astonishing level of animation, gives a lot of joy to the eyes, but in a way, it takes away a lot from the atmosphere of the original work. Now okay, enough shit said about the anime adaptation. I honestly really enjoy the anime. The animation is, as I already said, buttery smooth, the fights are probably never gonna be topped by another shonen anime, and to finally be able to see the characters Fujimoto gave life to animated and colored, it's an amazing experience. Another thing about the adaptation though that I'm kinda unsure about is, well, the voice acting. Don't get me wrong, overall I ended up really enjoying it. Even the choice of giving Mami Makima's voice this very soft tone, I found it extremely fitting for the type of character that she is. It gives her this sort of alluring, almost like a siren, sort of bewitches you with her docile appearance, with her soft voice, in order to then make you her dog that would obey any of her orders. Another voice that I really liked was the one that they gave to Power. It was probably one of the best fitting voices I've ever heard in an anime. It's got this very shouty and wild tone that works amazingly for the type of character that Power is. Other voices worth of noting would probably be Kobeni, with her continuous screams and panicky mumbling, as well as Kishibe, with his old and corroded voice, was deteriorated from the tobacco and alcohol. I would say that I didn't particularly like the voice surprisingly well. Denji, that I personally found a bit too simple and shonen-like. Not a bad voice per se, and definitely not a bad performance at all, but I think that they could have gone for something a bit more unexpected like they did with Makima or even with the Future Devil. And now let's talk music, because there's a lot to talk about here. The opening, Kickback, made by Kenshi Yonezu, that at this point I think we all heard, is an absolute fucking banger. An upbeat rock piece filled with catchy slap bass lines, powerful synthesizers, and an unforgettable chorus and one of the best hooks I've ever heard in a while. With its extremely chaotic energy, it works perfectly by preparing you to the batshit crazy scenes you're about to witness. But other than that, it's the first time that I've ever seen an anime having a different ending song in every episode. I don't even want to think about the amount of money that they spent to get all of the licenses. And well, if I had to choose my favorite out of all these endings, I would probably say that Dogland by People One it's an absolute hidden gem. It's so good. Well, this leaves us with the final conclusions. Personally, I think that Chainsaw Man is an absolutely amazing anime, but I also think that it could have been a little bit of a better adaptation, especially in regards of the art style. The soundtrack is, well, as I already said, top tier, and so is, with few exceptions, the voice acting. Also, why the hell did they censor the puke? We were promised no censorship whatsoever. And where's the feet, Mappa? You deeply sadden me, my boy. All jokes aside, if you haven't watched this masterpiece yet, just go for it, without thinking twice. You're probably not gonna regret it. So thank you very much for watching this video. I really appreciate the fact that you, well, chose to watch this video. If you ended up enjoying it, don't forget to leave a like and subscribe to the channel, because I'll be doing many more of these videos in the future. And that's probably gonna be all for today. Goodbye.